Hello everyone, my name is Afuseni Wa Salifu. I am the CEO of Land Reality Consult. Land Reality Consult is a consulting firm dedicated to promoting geographic information system, remote sensing, land governance and land administration issues, estate agency, that is, if you want to buy landed properties or you want to sell landed properties, kindly contact Land Reality Consult. If you also want to know more about these thematic areas, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the notification bell for updates. Today, I'm going to talk about land reforms in Ghana. This is a very interesting topic. Land reforms in Ghana. Before we go into details of land reforms in the context of Ghana, let's first of all understand what land reforms is. Then we will learn about the different types of land reforms, and then we narrow it down to the Ghanaian context. What are some of those things that has happened in the land administration domain of Ghana that we consider them as land reforms? So let's get started. Land reforms basically refers to modifications or replacement of institutional arrangements governing the possession and ownership of land and use of land. So that is what land reforms means. And land reforms are usually instituted as a strategy for addressing long-term effects of colonial policies in developing countries. You know, most of African countries have been colonized, either by the British or the French, the Portuguese, the Netherlands, and so on. So some of these land reforms have been instituted to extinguish some of their legacies that they established in these kind of countries. And another reason why land reforms usually undertaken is that it helps as a poverty reduction strategy. People use these reforms to reduce poverty in their country. So because of that, they institute land reforms. Another way is through economic intervention. Somebody will use land reforms as economic intervention. And then we also use land reforms for social justice. If there's a lot of discrimination in a sector or in the land domain, you can use land reforms as a means of social justice. So having learned about what land reforms is and what it seeks to achieve, then let's move to the types of land reforms. Land reforms can either be radical, very radical land reforms. They can also be less dramatic. So let's get to details of when we say land reform is radical. When land reform is radical, it's like you are rearranging and reshaping land relationships and rights and interests. You are rearranging, reshaping land relationships. So we say it's radical land reform. And we have different kinds of radical land reforms. And one form is land restitution. You are restoring land restitution. Land restitution simply means that you are restoring land rights or ownerships to their previous land owners. So this involves the restoration of land rights to previous owners. And then we say that you are restituting the land, bringing back to their previous land owners. Another form or kind of land reform, which is radical, is land consolidation. Land consolidation refers to readjustment and realignment of ownership rights and use of land. So if you have fragmented parcels of land around certain areas, you can bring these fragmented parcels of land to form larger contiguous parcels of land. And this land can be reallocated to people to have maybe larger sizes. So that is land consolidation. And then we have land redistribution. Land redistribution simply means that you are transferring large-scale lands from one group to another group. Usually, you are transferring land from the state or from individuals to people who do not own land. So you are transferring land from either the state or from individuals to people who do not even own what? Land. So we call it land redistribution. So that's the radical land reforms. Now let's move to less dramatic. So less dramatic is more or less just the opposite of radical. And this aims more about reforming the institutional setups, reforming the regulatory frameworks, and we also have using of information technologies to enhance the land administration systems, and we also have a re-engineering of the business processes of the land administration. So for this, it's more or less an enhancement mechanisms to enhance the land service delivery. It is less dramatic. So now we talk about what land reforms is. We talk about what land reform seeks to achieve. We also talk about different types of land reforms and their examples. That is, we talk about the radical and less dramatic. And now we are zooming into the Ghanaian context. So in Ghanaian context, have we implemented or have we instituted radical or less dramatic land reforms? But in the Ghanaian context, it is good to know that we have not done radical land reforms. Most of our land reforms are less dramatic, aim at institutional reforming, aim at regulatory reforming, aim at using ICT, information technology, to enhance land administration systems, and so on. So Ghanaian land reforms are in this direction. But I'll give you some of historical perspective of the Ghanaian land reforms. You see, most of our reforms can take its roots from the 1999 National Land Policy of Ghana, which has enumerated a lot of problems facing the land administration system of the country. And some of these problems, as I've mentioned in my previous videos, are indeterminate boundaries of stool skin lands. We have encroachment of state lands, land conflicts, lack of geographic information systems, haphazard development, weak institutional frameworks, weak land administration systems. All these were problems that were identified by National Land Policy of 1999. So, around the year 2004 to 2011 came the Land Administration Project Phase 1. And the Land Administration Project Phase 1 has long-term objectives. That is to reduce poverty and enhance social and economic growth, improving security of tenure, simplifying process of land acquisition. Land acquisition is very cumbersome in the country, so the aims are simplifying the land acquisition processes. We also have simplifying the land registration processes, long, laborious steps to follow when you want to register land in the country, fostering prudent land management practices, developing the land market. The land market is characterized by secrecy of information and so on, establishing an efficient and sustainable system of land administration, and so on. So these are more or less like a lab is more a solution to the problems that have been enumerated in the 1999 National Land Policy. That is how it is. So, LAP did not achieve a lot with respect to the problems enumerated by the 1999 National Land Policy, but it has also achieved certain level of successes, and these successes are they are related to dramatic land reforms. And one of the successes of the land acquisition project is legal reforms, resulting in the consolidation of over 160 related laws to land bill. Yes, my previous videos I talk about the new Land Act 2020 Act 1036. So it started way back through the interventions of Land Acquisition Project, and then this bill has now become a law. It was signed by the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, on 23 December 2020. So that is the legal reform that has been achieved by LAP project. And with this legal reform, we also have the coming to being of Lands Commission Act 767 that brought about 6 land sector agencies into one umbrella to harmonize their works and their setups to have a one-stop shop institution. So previously we have these land sector agencies like Land Valuation Board, the then Lands Commission, survey and mapping. We have land registry, all these land-started agencies were operating independently, scattered around. And when you want to even deal with land issues, you don't even know which agency that you are going. So through the intervention of land acquisition project, these institutions have been brought together under one umbrella. So that is the institutional, the legal